we need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.
Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social, in association with freebets.com, Forge's Irish Stout, Empire Fight Store, and Ready to Fight. We're here, Darren Till, Rotunda Gym. Listen, last time I spoke to you, first off, good Christmas and New Year, by the way.
It was good, yes, chilled, very chilled, didn't do nothing.
No?
So I trained right through because I thought during Christmas we'd be getting a fight date, so I just trained right through. I had like 1 or 2 little nights out, mainly with the kids and all, and the missus and all that. Yeah. So yeah.
Last time we spoke was on the back of a Misfits show, and I know you were very keen to bounce into the boxing side of it, whether it be Misfits or the standard professional game. Yeah. Where are we at with you right now as it stands? Because everyone's sort of waiting to see what you're going to do. You're going to do Misfits, pro boxing, UFC. What's next?
I do think that little avenue I want to go into. To be totally honest with you, my mind's only been set on one thing, on one person. It's like been the Mike Perry fight, because obviously he became the king of Ireland since our bare knuckle. It's a fight that's been destined now for 7 years, me and him. So I'm really pushing for it. I don't know what his team and that are doing. I don't feel like they're pushing for it as much. I don't know what the reasons are. Maybe they think there's a bigger fight out there, which there potentially could be. You know, like Nate. Masvidal.
They're fighting, aren't they now?
Yeah,
Nate and Masvidal
are fighting, yeah. So then that counts them out. So then it's obviously me and him. He's probably going to try for the Jake Paul or something like that. So Perry's very much on my mind. But I said last week, I put like a post on Instagram that I'd have fight news, and I do believe in the next 2 to 3 weeks the stuff I've been working on behind the scenes. This is why I've been out for so long. I am going to have a big fight day, fight news with a collective of people. Fighters we all know, so hopefully it'll be big announcements.
But professional boxing, not
right
MMA?
Now. Not right now. No, MMA and professional boxing. I mean, they say not professional, but it will be professional boxing, won't it? But not true. But that's my mind and my focus right now. And then obviously, it's all baby steps. I just want to take baby steps. Really, I've got like 2 to 3 years in this little like gap opening, should we say? So. That's I want to try and like capitalise as much as I can. I've got the right team behind me. To be honest with you, I've got a good team behind me.
You've obviously been in here a few times now, and the way they work, you see fighters coming here all the time or want to come here. It says a lot about the work Joe, Deck and everyone's doing. You for yourself though, like you've achieved such a lot in combat sport. Wherever anyone goes, you know, you are a big name. I feel that sort of UFC thing of, you know, you can take a loss and bounce back. It's slowly coming back into boxing now. Do you see yourself ever bouncing back to UFC?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I feel like that door's...
It's bread and butter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my bread and butter. I don't feel like the door's closed. I've got a great relationship with Hunter Campbell and Dana White and the UFC themselves, all the UFC staff. You know, we get along great. So I can see myself bouncing back into there. You know, one of my good friends, Hamzat Chimaev, he's down in London. He said he might come up and pay us a little visit, so that should be interesting. But yeah, as I say, only baby steps now, but that is the long game and the long goal is to return to the UFC and obviously, you know, return correctly, not not like sort of you know, forced and stuff like that. So you know, that's the long game, the end goal. But yeah, the lads do train hard here. Joe and Deck really put everyone through the paces. I feel fit, strong and all that. We get some good sparring. Like we had in-house sparring the day. Everyone just jumped in and got it up. You know, got it on. It was good. I enjoyed it. So yeah, no, Joe and Deck. It's a good gym. It's a good vibes.
Now, I know you'll fight anyone, and you mentioned that Mike Perry fight. I know there's that sort of, you had that back and forth moment in the locker room where you went in and sort of sized each other up a little bit like that. But if it is, or if you were bouncing into that scene, take Mike Perry out of it, because I think like you both seem quite game, like you'll fight anyone. He turned up as a stand-in, waiting to rock and roll kind of thing. Is there anyone you want to like get your hands on? I don't mean like personal, but you just like, you know what? I'd love to share the ring with you just for this, that and the other, whether it be influencers or pros.
I think the whole scene, I think that like now Masvidal and Nate fighting that Jake Paul, Tommy, that whole thing, KSI, you know, Perry, that whole thing comes together, even Woodley's in it and stuff like that. Any one of them, I feel like it's a big money fight. It's a big fight, especially with my name and their name. You know, all the shit before it and the fight, and I can see me. I know I can beat them all as well.
Masvidal?
Masvidal, yeah, the rematch with Masvidal, you know what I mean? So get one back on him. So I do, they're the fights. So Perry's probably, let's say Perry's at the top of the list. Perry's number one, and then, you know, they're all just below Perry. So if I can't make the Perry fight happen, I'd love to make a fight with one of them happen.
I remember after the Misfit show, regardless of what type of night it was for you, you were just like, look, I'll bounce over here and comatose and drop every single one of these. You were like, I will do that to every one of them. This isn't a joke kind of thing. And you watched the main event and you were like, look, after seeing that, I know exactly what would happen. If you get in the ring with the likes of a KSI, a Tommy Fury, you wholeheartedly believe, look, that this not going to end well for them.
I just wasn't impressed with it either way, either from Tommy or KSI. You know, I'm not trying to trash Tommy out too much, because I do like his family and get along with them, and but I just wasn't impressed by it. I don't know what he'd been doing in the gym, or, you know, whether he'd been training for it or what. Sometimes you can get sideswiped a bit by the lifestyle. Like, I know his missus is like a very, you know, famous blogger and stuff like that. So, like, you can get sideswiped by the fame and the glory and the money. So, you know, I'm just here every day, grit and tears and blood, you know, whether I've got the money or I haven't. So, and the same for KSI, it's like, I don't know what he was up to. Like, it's just fannying about. In my eyes, he was just fannying around.
Is it a bit of a, I don't want to say this disrespectfully, because they wholeheartedly, like, they do train and all this kind of stuff, but when you know, say, like, oh, bouncing there with them, like, do you see that as a bit of a joke that people may say, or would even say, oh, one of them could ever get in the ring with you, kind of thing, with what you've done?
Yeah, no, I don't see it like that, because obviously the KSI and Tommy, they train hard. Like, you can see KSI turns up in shape, like, and I know his gym, London Street Fights, is renowned for, like, they get the fighters in shape. I've sparred a few of the lads there, they turn up prepared, so you can't knock them or diss them on that. And Tommy comes from a fucking big fighting family, you know what I mean? His brother's the heavyweight champion of the world. Still
young in the game as
Still young as well, yeah, it's young. But, you know, you can't knock them on that front, and you can't say that you get in and one-handedly beat them. But it's just like, whatever they were doing on that night, it's just, I don't know, it's just not impressive to me. It's just like, I'm in here trying to be a savage every day in the gym, you know, everyone comes in, a lot of the fighters even here look up to me, they see how hard I work, they see the hours I put in, they see I don't mess around when I come in, you know, come in with me head down, I'm humble with it. And so for me, I look at me and I look at them and I just think, nah, I just don't feel like they could live with me.
How do you sort of stay on that, like, straight and narrow? Because you mentioned you are a big name, like I said, you've been in some high profile fights, like you mentioned, these look up to you. It'd be very easy for you maybe to come in and not go, like, sort of, you know, foot down every day kind of thing. How do you stay that sort of humble guy from Liverpool who goes in and works hard kind of thing?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm humble, because I am out there. I'm
no, you are. Sorry, humble maybe the wrong word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I'm lavish and extravagant, but in the gym, like, obviously, Declan, Joe and the coaches, and I can vouch for it. I just like, I don't know what it is with me. I like working hard. I like coming in, and I like putting myself to the test every day. So, like, you know, whether it's track work, hills, graph sessions, you know, pads or sparring and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't faze me. It's not like I come in on a day and they say you're doing graft and I go, oh, I want to do pads. Like, I'll do graft every day if it needs be, because for me, I just try to have the mindset of, like, if I say no to this graft, like, that makes me weak in my head. So it's like, nah, I'm not saying no to graft. I want to embrace the graft. I want to embrace the torches and hard work. And I always say, if there's ever a day that I come in and I probably don't want to do it, I'll probably retire. I'll probably just say, nah, it's not for me no more. But I feel like I get hungrier as age comes on. I feel like you get wiser and more experienced. So I'm in the phase now. I love the hard work more than ever.
I saw a little clip, I think it might have been on Shannon's profile, of this hill sprints, and you just went, I will challenge any man over this way to come here, do that, there's my car, blah, blah, blah.
Because I'm on the hills, and we got, like, the likes of Little Jack Turner, who's an upcoming pro and all that, you know, and they're all on it, and, you know, I'm like a 16.5 stone lad, and I'm keeping up with them. I'm overtaking them on that big hill. It's called the Tuggies down there. We do it with Tony Clark, our running coach. And so one day I just hyped. I thought, you know, anyone my weight there, come and have a go with me. Come on, and I'll fucking give the car. And you know what? I've got to be a man of my word. If someone can beat me at that weight, mate, who's a fighter, then I have to give the car over, don't I? So it was just a moment of hype, because they all see me in here. They see how hard I work. you'll get the likes, you know, Stephen Smith's got like young Steve Clark, and I change him. He comes in of a night, he's like, Till, you know, just love to see that lad. You know, keep working hard, and little comments like that, they push you up as well. It's like, you know, Swift is a veteran in the game, and when they say stuff like that, it makes you even want to work harder. So I'm always working hard.
Couple more from me, don't want to keep you too much longer. There's some big fights coming up. I want to get your opinion on this. Anthony Joshua is now fighting Francis Ngannou. Yeah. After we saw Tyson and Francis obviously did very well in that fight. Fury's obviously got Usyk coming up, but what's your opinion on this fight after seeing Joshua in his last fight? What's your honest opinion?
I've always, do you know what's funny? I've always been like a hater of Joshua and a fan at the same time. I'm like one of them 50-50 guys. I do like him and I don't like him at the same time. Not in a bad way, but like I've always wanted the old Joshua to come back, you know, the one that just used to go, spiteful, used to come in, and he wasn't even asked, he just used to want to like bulldoze people. And I always used to say, I have this joke with Joe as well, I said, like, if I was ever the same size as Joshua or like a pricey David Price, I'd have bulldozed the world. Like, that, a guy of that size, you shouldn't be. And I feel like in his last few fights, he's just been a little bit cautious. And maybe that's him just getting his leg back in or whatever. So his last fight was, you know, impressive. He done the business. But then you got this guy, Francis Ngannou, mate. He's people ask me about him. I've been in his presence. You know, he comes in the UFC PI when I've been there. He's a unit of a man. He's got a big head. His hands, you can just even see his skin, just thick, solid. You know, I don't even think a knife would pierce it. So people are saying, oh, the fight Joshua might win on points. Yeah, if it comes down to paper, Joshua's the better boxer, you know, obviously. But you've seen the fight with Fury as well, and I'm not trying to take anything away. People say Fury wasn't prepared and that, and you could put it down to that, but I think it's a hard fight for Joshua again. If Francis Ngannou's one of them immovable objects. It's like my granddad always used to say when I was a kid, when we used to drive in the lorries, because my granddad was a lorry driver, he's 85 now, and he used to say, if we were ever in the car and there was a lorry, he'd say, he'd just leave it, and he'd go, I'd be like asking questions, like, where does an elephant sit, Darren? And I'd be like, I don't know. And he'd go, anywhere it wants. I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, a lorry's the same, Till. If it wants to come over and you're in a little car, it's coming over.
It's a great analogy.
It's the same as like Ngannou. He's like that immovable object. He's like a, you know, he's a rhinoceros, he's a hippopotamus. You're not moving the guy if he doesn't want to move. And Fury's seen that against the ropes. Fury tried to move and it was sort of like, what? Do you know what I mean? And so I do think it's a hard fight for Joshua either way. And Francis Ngannou, I've trained with his coach Eric from Extreme Couture. He's got the current middleweight champion now, Sean Strickland. He's a brilliant coach. So they're going to come with a strategy and a game plan, and they're going to try and enforce it.
So Tyson's now going in there with Oleksandr Usyk. Off the back of that, hearing a lot of things, he's having a great camp, sparring well. Him and Usyk's fantastic, like pound for pound, brilliant what he's done. But Tyson Fury, when he turns up like Tyson, like we all know, it's different, isn't it? What do you make of this fight, and how do you sort of see it? You know, take the last fights into account, whatever you want, but how do you see that fight? Yeah,
Usyk could be coming off a lot of energy and confidence now, seeing that last fight. He could be like, you know, this is my time. I could stick and move, get him. I'm a massive fan of Usyk. I love his style. He's a southpaw like myself. I do love the way he is. Obviously, you know, I know Fury well. Obviously, I'll be rooting for Fury no matter what, all day, every day. I think it's one of them fights where we just don't know at this point because of how good Usyk is and how good Fury is, and if they both turn up, it could be that. You know, Fury could think, I'm going to walk through this guy, he's small, I'll walk through him, and Usyk could just be like, stick, you know, like he done with Joshua. But I was there present for the Joshua fight, it was fucking phenomenal. So, you know what, I can't wait for the fight. That's going to be David and Goliath in my head. Obviously, I'm rooting for Fury, always will be, but it's going to be a good fight, that.
100%. And last one for me before we sign this off. What next sort of 12 to 18 months, what's your ultimate sort of goals where so we get to the end of that, you go, look, I've achieved this and this?
I just want to make a lot of money and knock a lot of people out. That's what I want to do. I don't want to have decision fights. I want to have blood, sweat. I want my eyes to be closed over. I just want to make tons of money and knock everyone out.
It's about as honest as it. Okay. Darren Till, thanks for talking at Boxing Social, giving us some of your time. We'll catch up soon.
Thank you very much. See you soon, yeah.
We need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.